and nothing personal, but Aaron, yes, he's going to beat talentless teams at home against a talentless New England team on a short week with a rookie head coach.
The Jets' easiest game on their schedule, a game they absolutely had to win, and they did. I still don't think they're a great team because I don't think Rodgers can play like that on a week-to-week basis.
Howdy and welcome on in, New York Jets fans. We have a beautiful video for you guys today talking about your team, the New York Jets, and their triumphant win over the New England Patriots 24-3. And my first thing, there's like probably about 3 or 4 things I want to talk about in regarding to the New York Jets, but the number one thing is the one, it's probably the most asinine thing. And I guess the best way for me to really paint this picture for you guys is to say this. Hi. Last year, before the 2023 season really kicked off, I already had the New York Jets winning the division, right? It makes sense. It's awesome. You guys have a underdeveloped quarterback in Zach Wilson who's making enough plays for the defense to really carry the team, carry the organization enough to get enough wins, 7 wins at that time, to where I say in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, and probably the most talented quarterback to ever play in the National Football League. He's going to be the new star quarterback. Everything's hunky-dory. We know how this story ends. A couple of plays, one play in, he pops his Achilles. Now, all of a sudden, your favorite media heads, from Shannon Sharp to Stephen A. Smith to Colin Cowherd, believe that this guy's done, that this guy is not as good as he thinks he is, that this guy who is at 40 now is all of a sudden going to fall off. And I never know or understand how people get there. But what I do believe, right, because what I believe is these 3 media heads, along with the media powers that may be, they see Aaron Rodgers doing what Aaron Rodgers wants to do, and they don't like that. They see Aaron Rodgers going on Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about how he does this type of, dark therapy, where he's in complete darkness, and he said it did great things for him, and he does ayahuasca, he does all these things that are helping him, and he's even come out politically on a few things regarding some things. And they take that, internalize it, and think he's automatically bad at football. My whole thing is this. This could be, and this might be hyperbolic to any Green Bay fans that hear this, this could be one of his most complete teams he's ever been a part of. And this man has won a Super Bowl. And what I mean by complete is he has a running back, 2 running backs in both Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. He has a good enough offensive line, athletic, strong offensive line to keep him upright. He has a star receiver in Garrett Wilson. I'll take Devontae Adams over him all day, but Garrett Wilson is a top 10 dude. I've been on record saying that multiple years in a row. And the defense, which has always been the downfall of Aaron Rodgers every single year in Green Bay. Him not having a defense that can complement the offense. And that's exactly what he gets with the New York Jets. And after a pair of games in this beginning of the season, you start to hear the murmurs from media saying, oh, he's done. And he plays the 49ers, and he doesn't have a bang-out game, even though he did play great. The 49ers just ran the ball so well to keep the Jets off the field, the Jets offense off the field. It was just a great game plan to just run the ball. That was a defensive issue with the 49ers, but they try to put it on Aaron Rodgers. And what does he do in this game against the New England Patriots? Well, he finished the game going 27 for 35 for 281 yards and gives us 2 touchdowns. This team is juiced up. The New York Jets are different because now the defense gets to do this beautiful thing. This is a beautiful thing with the defense. They now get to say, okay, guys, let's just do whatever we have to do to get the ball back to the offense. Let's do whatever we have to do to get the ball back to the offense. The motivation last year, I bet, for the defense was, let's make the field short enough with turnovers to where we can get field goals. Let's make the game a little bit short enough to where we can have multiple opportunities to run the ball in for touchdowns. The stresses that the defense had to go through in 2023, it's just gone. It's eradicated. Aaron Rodgers has 100% uplifted this organization. And another thing that, media personalities like Nick Wright constantly bashing head coach Robert Salah, who's done nothing but try to bring a franchise back to life, which is a very hard thing to do. So we have that with Aaron Rodgers. And I hope, and you're going to hear it, right? You're going to hear all the media kind of switch up. You're going to hear the media kind of say things like, yeah, he's playing pretty good. He's all right. They're going to wait into the very last whistle to say anything of him being a top 3, top 5 quarterback, or even if he keeps balling out, to being back at his prime spot at being one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. They are going to hold off on that. And I have my own YouTube video where I have Aaron Rodgers at number 3 as the number 3 best quarterback in the NFL. And it's just because, oh, Miles, how did you get there? Well, the last time he played a full season, he balled out. He had double-digit interceptions, but that was the first time he had done that in 10 years. So I'm all over and done with that hoopla, and I'm just done with all that mess. Now, defensively, the Jets' defense has been getting quote-unquote bashed these first 2 weeks, and I compliment that too. Start of the season, it's fresh, it's new, trying out new things, new schemes, new players. And Robert Salah said the defense would be fixed, and it just took 1 week. Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson entered the game with already having 201 rushing yards on the season. He barely surpassed 10 in the first half, and he finished the game with 23. So clearly, the defense is feeling that offensive momentum, and even more so, now that the offense is clicking, it's going to what? Then force these quarterbacks to start throwing the ball. And we have amazing outings from Will McDonald, the 4th, former Iowa State pass rusher who did great in his pre-draft interviews, his combine, and then ended up getting picked up in the first round. Quinnen Williams had a sack. Michael Clemens had half of a sack. The Jets, when you get to have a good quarterback and put points on the board quickly, it's going to pressure, it's going to force the opposing offense to start throwing the ball. And when you do that, it's going to expose the weaknesses of a bad offensive line. And the New York Jets were able to tee off on your divisional rivals in the New England Patriots. And then we see Aaron Rodgers finding a beautiful sauce within the tight end room. His ability to find these tight ends, it's going to bode really well, I think, in the mid to late seasons, because what I saw from my point of view, and you guys can definitely correct me if you want, the play action is going to get so nasty. Having Braylon Allen out of Utah, who I really, really liked, right? And then having also Breece Hall, another Iowa State kid, who I really, really liked also coming out of the draft. Them being able to get so much attention, even from safeties. Of course, the linebackers are going to get sucked in because they want to do their best to stop the run before it gets started. That is going to beautifully bode well for any and all play actions. And who really shines the best in any and all play actions? It's a tight end room. And you have Tyler Conklin. That's a guy who I don't really see in the companies of the top tight ends in the National Football League. But I tell you what, if Mr. Tyler Conklin keeps catching 5 balls for 93 yards, he will definitely get that type of respect. And then Jeremy Ruckert, who is another, I believe he's a Ohio State kid, I really like him as well. He was able to catch 2 passes for 15 yards. And those plays, even the Ruckert plays, catches, it might be like, 93 yards, it's not super crazy. 15 yards is not be too crazy. But if you look at the game, when those receptions were had, they were very, very crucial within the game. So I think that's another very, very important thing. And at the end of the day, the way the offense played against the New England Patriots, the way the defense played against the New England Patriots, the way Robert Salah made the adjustments that needed to be made for this defense to really perform the way it did, it builds momentum. And you guys played 3 games in 11 days. No one's going to talk about the news. No one's going to really bring that in any of the news cycles whatsoever, because whether you guys know it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, you guys are the target. They don't want you guys to win. They want you all to fail because Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. And so I hope this defense and this offense sticks together. Robert Salah ignores all the haters outside of the building, and you guys get this shit done, because I do have a lot of money for the New York Jets in the division, and I know you will. Like, comment, and subscribe.